I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow.
What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about a highly requested video, which is how I got into medical school. Now, if you don't care about medical school and you're just interested in the fitness part of my channel, go ahead and go to the time link below to skip to my vlog where I'm talking about my dieting progress. But to begin, I want to talk about high school. I realize a lot of people who are interested in medicine are probably past high school, but I just want to talk about it to give you guys a background of my life and how I got interested into medicine. So by the time I was in high school, I've been doing competitive gymnastics for about 13 years. And when I was applying to college, I knew I wanted to do collegiate gymnastics. So that really influenced the school that I picked to go to college to. And as a gymnast, I was always getting injured. I saw my first orthopedic doctor at the age of 13. I was really having some bad knee problems and it was preventing me from doing gymnastics. And from then on, I broke my wrist, I had shoulder problems, I had bicep problems. So I was always seeing doctors in and out of the office, just trying to figure out what's going on and trying to figure out how I could get back to doing gymnastics at my full strength. So by the time I was going into college, I already had a long relationship with doctors, and I just thought it was amazing that they were able to treat me and able to help me continue my passion for gymnastics. And I just thought it'd be a great job to have one day, to be able to give back to other people and treat them and allow them to continue their passions too. And during high school, I knew I really liked math and sciences, but I knew I really didn't want to be constrained to a research type job or a lab job. So in my junior year of high school, I started this nonprofit organization called Interneting Family. We went to our local senior center to teach senior citizens how to use the computer and how to use the internet in order to stay connected with their families. So I just thought it'd be something great to teach the older generations, and since we stay in contact with each other so much via internet, I thought it'd be great to include them so they could communicate with us via internet and cell phone and all that. So this program really taught me that I really enjoy helping people, just teaching people how to do certain things, and the feeling you get after seeing them figure something out for the first time or after knowing that you've helped that person out is just amazing. So I knew I really wanted to help people out in whatever job I did, and I knew that I really wanted to somehow incorporate science, and being a physician is probably one of the best ways to do that because you are interacting with people all the time, you are helping people out, but you also get to use your science knowledge and apply that to medicine and treat people. After high school, I went to the University of Oklahoma because they had the #1 program in men's gymnastics, and they still do today, which is really awesome. And I decided to major in biology because I like science, and two, for pre-med, a lot of your prerequisites to get into medical school are science and math based. So with biology, I could knock out my requirements to graduate from my bachelor's degree, and I could knock out my requirements to get into medical school at the same exact time. You can actually major in whatever you want for med school. You just have to make sure you get those pre-med requirements. So if you could major in English, you could major in art, you could major in psychology, whatever you want to do, and as long as you take those extra courses for medicine, then you'll be fine. So I actually walked on to the men's gymnastics team. I wasn't on scholarship for gymnastics my freshman year, and the men's gymnastics program was insane there. It was something I was not used to. My first semester I did really well in my academics. I think I got a 3.8, so that was good. That was going really well. My gymnastics was not going so well. I was put in a situation where I was very uncomfortable. Everyone was way better than me, so I was playing catch up the whole semester in terms of gymnastics. Our tryout period for the Division I team was the whole fall semester, so I got to know the guys really well on the team, worked out with them every single day, and I found out at the end of that semester I didn't make the cut. And that was really devastating because I went to this program, I went to this school specifically for gymnastics. I'm from California, so I got into a ton of UCs. I could have gone there if I just wanted to do school, but I was here for gymnastics, and to find out that I didn't make the cut was devastating. That next semester, I was lost. I didn't really know what to do. I had to work out at a separate time from the Division I team because NCAA doesn't allow extra people to work out with the team. So it felt like I was separated from the family I just created all semester, and I was kind of lost, and I had a few key people help bring me up, which was really awesome. And my grades actually really suffered. I think I got a 3.0 or a 3.3 that spring semester of my first year of college. And if you're going into medical school and you hear a 3.0 GPA, you're probably like, that is a deal breaker. And that's what I thought too at first. I was like, I'm probably not gonna get into med school now because I have a bad GPA. My confidence was just going down the drain. But I decided I could do two things. I could either just give up on my dream of medicine and do something else, or I could just keep pushing along and really try to chase this dream of medicine. That summer, I worked my ass off in the gym because I knew in order for me to make the team, I had to make it so that the coaches could not deny me. I had to make it so that I was irreplaceable and they couldn't say no to me. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call myself irreplaceable, but I did get good enough in order to contribute to the team. And that next year I made the Division I team. And every year I made the team and I progressed even further. My junior year I All-American, which is one of the highest individual awards you can get for athletics. And then the following year, my senior year, my team and my coaches really recognized the hard work I put into the sport, the dedication, the commitment, and they asked me to be one of the team captains in order to lead the team and push them. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because med schools love these type of things on your application. I wasn't doing this to build my resume. I was doing this because I love gymnastics so much and this was my passion. But what med school applications like to see is that you're committed to something and that you're able to be in a leadership position. Because in medicine, doctors work in a team. And because they go through the most schooling, they're typically considered the leader of the team. So they want to make sure that you are able to lead a team or lead a group of people and do it in a respectful way. So I ended up having a really awesome gymnastics career at the University of Oklahoma. I want to give you guys kind of a breakdown of my daily schedule just to show you guys how busy I was. We worked out 6 days a week in the afternoon and then 4 days a week in the morning. So a typical morning workout and afternoon workout day would be I'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning, get to the gym by 6, and then we'd work out from 6 to 7, and then I would have physical therapy or icing treatment, or we did rehab exercises from 7 to 8, and then I went to class from about 9 to 12, and then I'd go back to the gym at 1:30, and then we would probably work out until about 5:30 or 6 in the evening. And then I would have treatment again, and I would be at physical therapy from 6 to 7. So that left me between 7 and 10:30 to eat and study, and that's all I had. And sometimes I had class in those periods, so it was a jam-packed schedule. I really had no free time because I was so consumed in gymnastics and getting good grades. With that being said, I would go back and do it all over again. The Division I collegiate experience is something that's really unique and something that med schools actually really love. Not just med school, but any other professional or higher education you're trying to get, they will all love the Division I athletics. I'm not saying you all have to do sports, but if you are interested in sports and that's your passion, I highly recommend you go after that because it'll really help you out in the future. So I was able to graduate in 4 years, but I had no medical experience and I didn't take my MCAT. So those were two really key experiences that I wanted to add to my application. So the first thing I did was after I graduated in May, and then in June, I enrolled in an EMT certification class. So I was certified by July, and then I went back to Oklahoma and I studied for my MCAT, and I took my MCAT in the end of October in 2014, and then I got hired on as an ER technician at my local hospital about a week later after I finished my MCAT. Taking the MCAT after you graduate isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I felt like I didn't retain some of the earlier knowledge that would probably have helped me out on the MCAT. So after I took my MCAT, I was working as an ER tech, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically an EMT that stays in the emergency room. And my job duties were I took patients from the waiting room back to their rooms. I did EKGs, I drew labs or did phlebotomy type stuff, and then I did catheterizations, and I also did chest compressions on cardiac arrest patients. Those were my main jobs that I had to do. I also did anything else that the nurses or doctors wanted me to do. So that was a really good hands-on experience. I was learning about the ER, I was learning about other parts of the hospital, how admissions worked, and I was getting paid at the same time, which was awesome. But I got my score back a month later, did not do nearly as well as I wanted to on the MCAT. So the test was changing. This was during the change from the old test to the new test, and the last date to take it was January of 2015. I went ahead and I snagged a spot for January. I had to drive to Arkansas to do it. Took the exam again in January, and I actually did worse. Now, not only did I do bad the first time, I did even worse the second time, and I was I didn't know what to do, and it was tough. I had to decide whether to bite the bullet and take the new exam that no one had ever taken before, or go ahead and just submit my application with what I had and hope for the best. I ended up just sticking with my score. I knew I had to really do two things to increase my chances of getting into medical school. The first thing I did was apply early. Now, you have to apply early, especially if you're a weaker academic applicant, because admissions are rolling, meaning that they fill up spots as they receive applications. So you don't want to be stuck with your application being sent in late and then all the spots for interviews or all the spots for their med school class are already taken. The second thing I did was I applied very broadly. I applied to about 10 MD schools and 20 DO schools because I had no clue what they were going to think of my grades, what they were going to think of my MCAT, and I was just really trying to set myself up for the best possible outcome. So during this whole application process, I was still working in the ER, still getting really good experience. The whole application process probably costed me around $2,000, which I paid for through my job. And I actually ended up getting about 6 to 7 DO interviews and 2 MD interviews. I only went on 5 interviews total, and I actually ended up getting accepted into 4 of those 5 schools that I went on interviews. Now, during my interviews, I was really scared about people asking me about why did I not do so good in school, because I ended up graduating with about a 3.6. My pre-med advisor actually told me I wouldn't get into medical school, and they recommended me going to podiatry school. Nothing against podiatrists, but that just wasn't my passion and not something I wanted to do. And I was also worried that they would bring up, okay, you didn't do so great on your first MCAT, and you did even worse on your second MCAT. What happened? And actually, none of my interviews brought that up. None of them said anything negative about my grades or my MCAT. And actually, the opposite happened. They thought I did really well on my grades, and they thought I did really well on my MCAT for the amount of things I did on my application. They saw that I was a very successful Division I gymnast. They saw that I had ER experience, and they saw all the other volunteer stuff that I did kind of on the side, and they were actually really impressed that I was able to get those grades and get that score. What I really want to convey to you guys is that yes, your grades and your test scores are very important. They open lots of doors for you, but it's actually not impossible to get into medical school if you don't do so well in those aspects of your application. I just really want to let you guys know that grades and test scores are not everything. They look at the entire applicant, and they want applicants who are well-rounded, who have great extracurriculars. And what I mean by extracurriculars is I don't mean go ahead and do 20 different things, because you don't want to spread yourself out too thin. You want to pick maybe like 2 or 3 really solid experiences, get really involved with those experiences, show that you want to help out other people, and show that you're really interested in medicine. So if you guys are not doing so hot in your MCAT or your grades, it's not the end of the world. I was able to do it, and I'm sure you guys can do it too. And throughout the journey, I just remember it seeming like a complete uphill battle. Like nothing was going in my favor, but just stay strong, stick with it, believe in yourself, make sure you apply with everything you need in order to be the best possible applicant you can be. If you guys have any questions about maybe your personal application or what you should do, go ahead and email me or comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. It's a really long journey getting accepted into medical school, but hopefully I inspired you guys to keep pursuing your dreams of medicine. It's a really long journey. It seems like an uphill battle, but I promise you guys it's all worth it in the end, and that you guys can do it too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that story, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of this vlog. What's going on, guys? Today is Saturday, April 8th, which is the day before my birthday. I will be turning 25 tomorrow, but I have a midterm exam on Monday, so I don't really want to go out and celebrate my birthday on my actual birthday, just because I want to be at home studying, getting ready for the midterm. So we're actually going to go out to lunch today. What's it called? We're going to go to Texas de Brazil, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. I've never been, so I think it's going to be really fun, and I thought today would be a good day to go. Wow.
Stop. Hard.
I love you.
just got back from Texas Day, Brazil. It was really good, especially if you really like a lot of meat. It's mainly like a meat buffet. And they had a salad bar, beans, rice, potatoes, mashed potatoes, fried plantains, and like cheesy bread. I forgot what it's called in Portuguese, but it's really good food. Highly recommend it if you want to celebrate a birthday. And what did you think?
That was really good. A lot of food.
What was your favorite?
I don't know, the garlic something or other.
The garlic. I think it was a garlic sirloin. That was my favorite too. We went for lunch because it's like $15 cheaper. And we didn't get to try the filet, but the garlic sirloin is really good if you ever decide to go. Let's go. Come on. Time to open the presents.
What?
Wow. I wrote a guess.
Shocker.
What is it?
Were they ones that you didn't actually try on?
Yeah,
You just kind of picked them.
Yeah.
Stretch jeans for the quads.
Yeah, how stretchy.
There's the birthday presents to Ethan from Ethan.
What? Wow.
What is it?
She got me JBL speakers.
Whoop whoop.
For the pool and for basically anything else really.
Waterproof.
Waterproof. You can connect multiple speakers, your phone, charge your phone, 20 hours of playtime. Thanks, Mom.
Sick. Wow, you're strong.
She got a case for it too.
Oh.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh.
Hey, Grandma.
Can you move them and relax?
It's not for me. Someone else. She got me a nice shirt.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Thanks, Grandma. This right here is the stuff. Here's my birthday cake. This is really good. Why are you so close? This is white chocolate macadamia nut cookie and ube and red bean ice cream. 60.2. Alright, so here's a quick update of what I'm looking like in the morning. Relaxed, flexed. So, progress is going really well. Haven't really done too much cardio. I do cardio about once a week. So once my weight loss stops, I'm gonna start adding in more cardio. My weigh-in today was 160.2. After my birthday meal, I weighed in at 163.7, and yesterday was Monday, weighed in 162.1, and yesterday, one of my mod mates actually made me a cake. Thanks, guys.
Are you Instagramming this?
Yesterday I had cake, but just kind of counted intuitively. I didn't count any of those carbs. And I still woke up today at 160.2. Still making progress, even though I'm not really eating the healthiest of things. I counted all my protein yesterday to make sure I had adequate protein intake. It's all about tracking, guys. If you're gonna splurge, just make sure you make up for it later or you make up for it before. The days before I was dieting on low carbs because I knew I was gonna have a high intake of food. And then yesterday, I did eat bad, but I really limited my carb intake. Hi, P. Whoa! Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stand. Whoa, whoa. Shake. Just ran to Sam's Club to get some meat and a couple other things. Went a different way and I totally forgot there's a Starbucks on the way. If you guys really like Starbucks, I highly recommend you sign up for the rewards program or whatever, because on your birthday you get a free drink and it's whatever you want in it, whatever size. I got a venti cinnamon dolce Frappuccino, sugar-free and fat-free, or skim, I think they use skim milk in it. It's still not the greatest for a diet, but if you're gonna drink Starbucks on a diet, then the sugar-free syrups are awesome, and skim milk too. Definitely helps cut down on the calories. So I drink about half. I'm gonna save the other half for my girlfriend because I think she would enjoy it, and I don't really need this much Starbucks. I just normally get the Sam's Club version of chicken breast, and then I got nothing too crazy. It's just the beef round eye round steak. This one is $4.48 a pound. So not super cheap, but not super expensive either.